All right. So the reason I wanted to talk about this today is because this is one of the things that everybody talks about in the therapy session. How do they feel better? You know, how do they live this life without a certain person? How do they overcome? And every man that I've known that have been through a breakup, and most of all of the women, they always go back because they miss them so much. And then they end up repeating the same old cycle. I made a quote today on my page that said, when you learn how to move different and you learn to stop doing the same thing, that is when the loop break in your life. So many of us, we are stuck in the same loop. We're stuck in the same mistakes. We stuck with the same people, right? We're stuck. So that's why tonight I wanted to talk about this, because it's a serious topic. And I think that it's going to touch and it's going to bring clarity to a lot of people, mentally. So I want to say again that you don't miss them. You miss who you thought they were. And see, that's a difference. That's a different kind of grief. And this is why this is your therapy session. See, I want to deal with the first psychological part. I want to talk about how you project things psychologically. And I'm going to break this down in the most logical way that I can. And so a lot of you right now, you're getting ready to learn something you didn't know. You're getting ready to learn something about yourself that you probably didn't think about. So when you meet someone, right, you don't just bond. You don't just bond to who they are. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you meet somebody, right? I'm talking about a potential, a person that, that you really want. You don't just bond to that meeting them. No. You bond to their potential. You bond to their promises. You bond even to their best moments. You bond to the version of them that you imagine psychologically. And this is called projection attachment. This is called projection attachment. I want to break this stuff down so that you can understand in your mind, why am I so bound to the thoughts of this person? Well, because a picture that you made, the bond that you have set and that you have with this person, you really bonded with their potential. You believed in this person. You believed in their promises. You believed in their best moments. You thought, right? So you painted this illusion of what you thought they would be. And then what you do is you fill in the gaps with hope. So what they don't have, you fill it in with hope. I hope one day they will become this. I hope one day they will become that. I just hope. See, you see small glimpses of who they could be in your brain, right? And you build a full identity around it. This happens every day. This happens in every relationship. Psychologically, we don't understand what is going on, but this is what it is. We really project. We have an attachment to a person based off what we believe they are. This is why when you find out something about somebody that is totally crazy, you just be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Because the version of them that I imagine is not the version that I have projected in my mind. Have you ever looked at somebody that you believed in and all of a sudden this person has failed in life in a dramatic way? Have you ever did that? Have you ever did that? Like, you knew a person and next thing you know, you see this person on the news and you're like, what? Well, you psychologically had a different type of projection based off their potential, based off their life promises. This could be a person that could be, it could be a pastor. It could be a community leader. It could be a school teacher. You thought because they was this and they was that, but the version psychologically that you thought it wasn't it. So what you don't know about them, you fill in the gaps. You ever knew somebody and thought they was top tier? And the hope you had in them was like, you was filling in the gaps like, nah, they can't be like that. They got to be like this. But when you really get to know them, your whole projection change. But back to relationships, you didn't fall in love with reality. Okay? You didn't fall in love with reality. You fell in love with possibility. That's what you fell in love with. And everybody does it. Everybody do it. It's not just you. Sometimes the possibility can be great, and sometimes the possibility could fail. Do you think when you go and get a loan and it's a possibility that you're going to pay that loan back, right? There's a possibility, there's a chance that you won't do it. And so I'm telling you right now that in life is the same thing. There's a possibility that we fall in love with. We invest in possibility. You see a man who got 15 kids. And sometimes you don't look at reality because you fall in love with the thought and possibility that he could be yours. I'm just telling the truth of what happens and what we do. And I just wanted to explain that so that you could know in your mind that you did not fall in love with reality when you first met your person in the first place. You fell in love with the possibility because it's impossible to know everything about a person. When you first meet them, even the first 2-3 months, 5 months, 6 months, it's impossible to know. So your brain begins to fill in gaps with hope. I hope that they are this person. I hope that they're this, and I hope that they're that, right? In your brain, again, it begins to build a full identity around it. I want to say this, that your brain loves consistency. So when someone shows 10% of greatness, your mind imagine the other 90%. And you attach to that vision. You don't even attach to the pattern. Now I'm going to say something next that may hurt somebody. It may strike you for like, wow, he is not lying to me. Let me tell you this. You stay loyal to somebody. You stay loyal to the hope. Not the behavior. It's the truth. It's the truth. I'm just telling you the truth. I want you to know the psychology of this. I want you to really get this in your mind, because when you know this, I promise you, you're going to be unstoppable. You're going to start to know yourself better. You're going to start to really understand certain things in your life and why you feel certain ways. And that's what I love about a real therapy session. That's what I love about it. You can come in here and you can have a real thought. You can have a real mind and a real understanding, real wisdom. But I want to talk about why it hurts so much. Because this is the thing that is crazy, right? And those of you that are just now coming in, we are talking about something tonight that is so unique and so powerful that you thought you missed that person. You done broke up. You's telling yourself every day, man, I miss this person. You looking at pictures and you're looking at videos of y'all, and you're just saying to yourself, like, I really miss this person. I miss the way they make me feel. But I'm telling you, psychologically, you don't miss them. You miss the thought of what they could become or what you thought they were. So in that first section, I was just giving you the psychological reasoning that now you really stayed loyal to hope. You didn't fall in love with reality. You fell in love with potential. And there's a lot of women right now, they just loyal because they still hoping that they got a good man. They still hoping that there's a real future. They're still hoping their situation is not good. They're not paying attention to what he's not. Well, they're not loyal to his behavior. They loyal because they hope that this thing is going to work. But I want to deal with why it feels so bad. Like, why does it hurt? Like, why does it hurt? And this is the thing that, this is the thing that affects so many people in the middle of why they are experiencing the type of pain that you feel when you go through something. See, when reality and imagination, right? When reality and imagination, when they collide, let's say you got reality here, you got imagination. When they collide, guess what it creates? It creates a psychological conflict. You got reality. That's the truth. I always tell people, you judge that man based off reality. This is something that I always say. I say, bro, judge her off reality. What is going on right now? I'm not talking about what your imagination says. I'm not talking about, no, let's be logical. And this is how a woman, you can become a real powerful queen, because you learn the difference between reality and imagination. We all have imaginations. We all have things that we think. We all have things that in our mind we just imagine. But I'm telling you right now, why does it hurt so much? You miss them, right? Why does it hurt so much? Well, when reality and imagination, things that are not even true, they collide, it creates a psychological conflict. And that conflict is called cognitive dissonance. That's a real conflict. That's a real internal war. There's some people right now, you've seen those red flags. You've seen it. You've seen the red flags. But you also saw the moments of sweetness. You saw inconsistency, but you also saw potential. See, there's a conflict going on. You see what I'm saying? Think about this, right? I want you to think about this. Follow me. You know reality, but you have an imagination that reality might not be real. They are colliding with each other. It is a conflict of what you think about this person. That's why you be ready to cut people off who trying to tell you the truth about your person. I tell men, if you got a brother or a real close friend that loves a woman, don't tell him anything different. Once he tell you that he's deeply in love with that woman, you leave that alone, because if you come between that love or that imagination that he have built in his head, guess what's going to happen? You're going to lose a friendship. You know what? I don't think somebody understand, right? So I want to ask a question in the comments, and I want you to answer this. Have you ever had a friend where you seen the red flags in their dating? Both of you guys are single. I'm not talking about no hate stuff. I'm talking about real friends. Y'all real friends. And you was like, hey, he got some red flags on him. Like, and you tried to warn, right? You tried to warn. But the person that you was warning, they either cut you off, stopped talking to you, and ended up getting in a bad situation. Well, a lot of people say that's what happens. Well, it's a conflict going on. I'm telling you what it is. You like a person so much, you don't care about reality. Because when reality and when common sense and imagination come together, it's a conflict. It's like a war going on in your mind. No, it can't be. Yes, it is. It can't be. He for the streets. No, he ain't. He's a good guy. He can change. She for the streets. So your mind is conflicted. She for the streets. No, she could be a good woman. You understand what I'm saying? That's cognitive dissonance. You saw the inconsistency, right? But you also saw the potential. Brain tries to protect the version you believed in. Do you understand what I'm saying? And when your brain does this is when you lose friendships. This is when I'm serious. This is what happens. You trying to cut folks off that tried to warn you about the mistake you getting ready to make. And it's all because of there's a psychological conflict going on. A person is confused. They done fell in love with hope. They done fell in love like, ooh, if we got together, we'll look so powerful. And they overlook all of the negativity. They overlook all of the bad things. If we got together, I'm just imagining this man can take me places. He can do this. He can blah, blah, blah. Or I can show her off. Oh man, like, boy, yeah, she eye candy, boy, like, yeah, I can do this and to do that. But you really, all the red flags she done gave you already. You don't even look at those. I just had a true moment like that just happened. Like, I want to say about 3 months ago, I had a friend. We tried to tell him. Like he didn't want to listen. The girl had so many red flags in the beginning. But when she put it on him, his mind was gone. So it took him about 6 months to come up out of this disaster. And the reason his mind was gone because now not only is lust involved, but he's don't even care about reality. She would go 2 and 3 days without talking to him. After you don't put that man, like, and she going 2 and 3 days, big dog, and she ain't talking to you, dog. Bro, I don't know no woman, bro, where you just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you went that far and she ain't trying to talk to you and then say some days she don't want to talk to you. Boy, that's a red flag. That means that you not him. I'm sorry. You not him. But he didn't want to listen. He didn't want to listen. He almost turned on me, turned on everybody. Like, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Like, this girl, she might be the one. Many months later, that plane came coming down. See, he was starting to fall in love with the ideal of what it would look like to have her on my arm. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Let me read these comments. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? If you understand what I'm saying, I want you to comment, keep cooking. Keep cooking, because I'm in the kitchen right now. This food is almost done. And I'm trying to paint this picture of you are saying that you miss them, right? But you really missed the thought of what you thought they were. And it is addictive. It is addictive. It's like a real addiction. It's serious. And it's crazy, because it hurts so much when you break up and now it's over with. It hurts so much because your brain tried to protect the version of them that you believed in. Then you fall in this crazy love and it's like, yeah, I believed in them, man. I know that's baby right there. I hear women say all the time, that's my man, my man, my man. 6 months to a year later, blah, blah, blah. I hate, I don't like him no more. I can't stand him no more. Ooh. Somebody laughing, but it's the truth. Your brain, it went into a real defense mechanism. How many of you right now have cut somebody off because they didn't agree with something in your relationship? And I'm not talking about your marriage because everybody don't have say so in that. I'm talking about dating stage. How many people did you cut off because you believed in a person and then months later, years later, you end up deeply hurt? So I'm explaining to you why your brain, it's like I had this version of you in my mind and I protected you. I cut everybody off for you, for this thought of who I thought you were. I cut this person off. Like it didn't matter to me. Like I changed my life because I thought the version of you, I believed in you. So I changed the way that I walked. I changed the way that I talk. I compromised with you, right? See, when your brain is trying to protect, we're talking about your mind. We're talking about your thoughts. We're talking about your inner being. We're talking about your spirit person, your spirit man. You say, man, I know ladies who would change religions for a man. And so when it all falls apart, it hurts because you are grieving the version that you created. You're not grieving the person. I really want to make this plain. Did you just hear what I just said? I want to make this plain. I want to make this so understandable to where you can repeat this to somebody else. You're not grieving the person. You're grieving the version that you created. I'm talking about the version of them that you created. And that's why it hurts deeper. That's why it hurts deeper. That's why you toe up. That's why every time you think about it, you begin to cry. That's why sometimes you like, man, I can't control my emotions. I can't control it. That's why it hurts so bad. And that's why I said, those of you that's coming in, you should share this. Somebody right now is hurting because, You know, they don't understand that hurt that they feel. And when you begin to start understanding the hurt, your brain can begin to rewire itself. It can begin to rebuild itself. It can begin to reclaim your peace. Some people right now are hurting so bad they don't have peace right now because they really believe, okay, I can hear right now that somebody might be saying, well, it don't really make any sense. Okay. I'll put it in this. I'll give you another example. Outside of a relationship. Let's say you believed in an investor. He come to you and he says, if you give me $10,000, I can take that money and I can make you $1 million. Right? I can make you $1 million in 6 months. Everybody else saying, ain't no way, you don't get no return on investment like that, right? You fall in love in your mind with the thought of being rich. So now all of a sudden, anybody that talk bad against that investor that they don't know, but you know this investor, you automatically go into a protection mode. Your brain does this. This is what happens. This is what happens. But when you lose everything, it ain't always the money that you lose. It's that thought that, man, I'm going to make it. Now I can get my family out of the struggle. Now I can do this. Now I can do that. It is the same exact logic. There's people right now who are defending investors. I don't defend them. If they lost money, they lost money. It just is what it is. There's some people right now, you defending the wrong version of, you defending, and that's why it hurts so bad. That's why you're hurting so bad. See, you feel like you lost something rare. And this might make you sad. This might even make you cry because I'm telling you the truth. You feel like you lost something rare. But this next thing I'm going to say to you, it might hurt you. I'm about to get ready to give you the real truth. It goes a lot deeper than this. You're hurting. You're crying uncontrollably. You can't get them off your mind. You be strong for a few months. You be strong for a little bit, and then it come back. You be like, man, I thought it was gone. I thought it was done. I thought it was. But sometimes, you feel like you lost something rare. It's like, man, I lost like a rare possession. Like, man, I lost, like something that I can't explain, like something that money can't buy. Like, I lost that. But what you really lost, I got to be honest with you, it never existed. It never fully existed. And that is heavy. This man you believed in, this imagination that he was this person, right? It never fully existed. See, a lot of people mourn a fantasy that felt so real. But it was never fully real. It just felt real because that's what your brain built. And so that's why you go through these things. That's why you go through these things. It's like, man, like I lost something rare. I can't believe it. It never fully existed. It never fully existed. I just told you earlier that you have built a hope in your brain that fills in all the gaps for things that they don't have. And so, your brain have really imagined, you really chose your imagination over reality. I tell anybody I counsel, like, you got to separate the real from the fake. Either you got a good man who provide, protect, keep you safe, or you don't got a good man who provide and keep you safe. Either you got a good person that loves God for real, or you don't got a person. Your imagination, you gotta get out of your imagination. Anything that exalts itself, right? Anything that is, sometimes you imagine some things, man, you will swear up and down that is true. Whole time. It ain't. It's a fantasy. It feels real. And that's why you're crying. That's why you're mourning. A lot of people pass, right? And they go on to meet God, right? And a lot of times emotions are drawn up from people. Sometimes from the unknown, like, I wish I would have had a better relationship with this person. I wish I would have really did this, and I really wish I would have did that, right? Sometimes you even mourn things that was a fantasy. It felt real, but it really wasn't real. And I want to talk about, why do we do this? And this is going to be uncomfortable, but it's going to be the truth. Why do we do this? I want you to really, really hear me out on this. Why do we do this? We don't just fall in love with people. No. We fall in love with what people represent. This is why we do this. So for those of you that's just coming in, take a moment. We're talking about that you feel like you missed them. You're hurting because you missed them. But the truth is, you missed a version of them that you thought. Look like I lost camera for some reason. That's weird. Y'all give me a second. Let me get my camera back on. That was weird. The battery was fully charged. Y'all give me a second. Oh, this is finna get good. All right, let me take this around. This is finna get real good. This is about to get real good. Hold on, I'm almost back. Give me a second. Let's see if we gonna get some juice. Oh, she ain't gonna. I'm gonna have to take her all the way off. Dang. It's all good. I'm coming. Boy, I thought we was good. Oh. I'm coming. I'm coming. All right. All right, I'm back. Woo! That was crazy. All right, I'm sorry about that. Oh, we was just now getting in a real interesting part of why we do what we do. Why do we do what we do? Sorry about that. Normally that doesn't happen. I thought that I put everything on the charger, but it's okay. We back. So yeah. The uncomfortable truth of why we do this. Why do we do this? And hopefully you guys kept the comments going until I got back. And again, for those that are just now hopping on, tonight we were talking about you don't really miss them. You think you do. But you missed the thought of who they were. And so now we are just now going into the part of why, literally, why do we do this? I just want to give you a real understanding of why we do this. We fall in love with what a person represents. You think you fell in love with a soul. You think you fell in love with their spirit for real. But we don't just fall in love with those things. Because we do. We're human. We don't just fall in love with those things only. We fall in love with security. We be like, I'm secure. He gonna take care of me forever. Uh-oh. You be like, he gonna take care of me forever. You be like, this person have helped me heal. So I feel like, I love this person because they just make me feel so good. Y'all ever heard that sexual healing song? Y'all ever heard that song? That's a real thing. You fall in love with what you think love represents in people. You fall in love with redemption. So a lot of men, right? You go through a bad divorce. And I wrote this song about marrying for the wrong reasons. I haven't released it yet. It's pretty powerful. But in this song, I just talk about like the errors of people who get in relationships and fall in love with people because they feel like they're redeeming something. You fall in love with what they represent. Oh, they redeeming me. You fall in love with validation. It's just the truth. No man ever treated me like this. The brother said too. They be like, yo, ain't nobody ever treated me like this, boy. Look, boy, she telling me every day, boy, how good I look, boy. She stroking my ego, boy. Like, yeah, I'm him. So you start falling in love with that. So sometimes we attach because we want the story to work. We want this imagination. We want it to work. And we don't care what anybody else think. I've already said that we Our brain protects against that. We want the story to work. So we fall in love with this fairy tale story. And it's not because that we have, you have patterns that's healthy. Nope. You wasn't attached to them. You was attached to what you hope they become. Did you just hear what I just said? And when that collapses, right, it feels like your future collapsed with it. That's why letting go feels bigger than the relationship. Some people, you get in these situations and you tell yourself, man, my future is gone now, man. I don't know what I'm going to do. That's why the thought of letting go, it just feels so big. People be like, yo, let go. People be like, let go. Like, but it's hard when you feel like this is bigger than life itself. You wasn't attached to them. You was attached to what you hope they become. I want you to be honest with me. I want to have a moment of truth. This is therapy, right? I want you to be honest. I got a question for you. Did you fall in love with their potential more than their patterns? If you did, I want you to type potential if that was you. Did you fall in love with somebody's potential more than their patterns? See, patterns is reality. I just want to read. I just want to see. Because now I know who I'm talking to. Now I know who received this. Now I know who's learning. Now I know who's serious about having a therapy session, talking about their hurt that comes every now and then. Did you fall in love with their potential more than you did their pattern? And this is one thing that I would teach my daughter. I would tell her, look, I don't care what he can tell you can do, but what is he doing? Is he for the moment right now? Like, is he doing this stuff right now? I don't want to hear no maybe, no mights, no possibilities. When he come into your life and he want to take your hand into marriage, he got to be able to do it all. Do you hear me? He got to be able to do it all. We're not doing that. I don't care about daddy. He's a good man. He can change. No, telling my sons the same thing. I don't want to hear nothing about she got potential, big dog. See, I talk to my boys like they're a grown man. No, I don't want to hear that, big dog. Now that's that potential. Say that for somebody else. You mean to tell me you together, right? She got the potential to be what you need her to be. And you want to get committed to her. You want to marry her based off her potential and not her real life patterns. Now you are making a mistake that so many people make. Do you get what I'm saying? You're making a mistake now. Marriage is the most important thing you're supposed to do in this world. It's more important than starting a business. It's more important than joining a church. It's more important than everybody in your family. I'm just being honest. We're talking about a life decision. It's more important than where you move. Don't marry nobody for their potential. No. When you hire somebody as a boss, you don't hire them for their potential. No. You hire them if they can get the job done. So I want to see your patterns. Can I see your resume? Can I see, have you done this type of work before? If you had a medical professional that is working on your body, and you had to go in for a real deal procedure, right? You mean to tell me you want a doctor who's very smart with potential, or you want a doctor who has a real pattern of successful surgeries? Which one would you want? So don't come to me talking about, I'm marrying for potential. You're marrying for potential on something that you made up in your mind. And when everything fall, your life will fall apart. You had this imagination. Some people have these fairy tale weddings, spend $50,000 and $60,000 for a wedding and end up divorced within 5 years because you married for the wrong reason. You had this fairy tale imagination in your head that this was my person the whole time. You was not marrying the person. You was marrying the hope, the imagination. So when everything comes to a halt and everything stops and things go and the truth comes out, you don't miss them. You don't. You got to tell yourself the truth. Every time you come up in your mind, you be like, no, I don't miss them. No, I don't miss that. I miss what I thought that could be, though. I miss what I thought they were. I thought this was a good person. I thought they was this and I thought they was that. That's what I miss because I defended that, right? The last thing I would say, if this was you, I want to tell you how to grow from this. I literally want to tell you how to grow from this. I want you to learn how to separate words from patterns. See, hope, listen to words. Let me slow down. Hope listens to words. Hope. Wisdom watches behavior. Wisdom watches behavior. If the pattern contradicts the promise, believe the pattern. This is why I be with a woman when she be like, no, your patterns is different. You used to do things this way, but now you're doing things this way. Can you explain to me why you changing your patterns? You used to take this way to work, but now you taking this other way to work. Can you explain your patterns? You used to take me to the gym with you, but now you want to work out with your fellas. And can you explain your pattern? You used to do this, but now you're doing something different. So a lot of men, you tell on yourself because you change your patterns. You understand what I'm saying? That's how a lot of people get caught up. That's how women get caught up too. They change their patterns. Hope, listen to words. Wisdom watches behavior. If the pattern contradicts the promise, believe the pattern. I know I'm probably saying a lot of stuff tonight that is going to go over your head and you're not going to really get it. I hope you would take notes in some of these therapy sessions and really get to a place of healing in your life where you can understand some of these things, because when you can make sense of this and when you can understand this, this could take and revolutionize the way you think, and it can revolutionize the pain that you're feeling at this very moment for those of you that are going through it off and on. The second thing I would tell you is to stop romanticizing the beginning. See, the beginning is just full of dopamine. It's full of fun. They treat you different in the beginning. Everybody trying to win everybody. Yeah, women treat you different too. Women treat you different in the beginning. They think it's just men that do it, but no, women treat you different too. The middle is character. The middle of your relationship is character. And a lot of relationships struggle because of character. Somebody's egotistical. Somebody's a real narcissistic person. But the end of a relationship, it always reveals the truth. The end of a relationship, it reveals the truth. I don't care what they say. I don't care what she say, he say, that person say. The ending always reveals the truth. So don't measure a relationship by its first chapter. You got to stop romanticizing the beginning. That's dopamine. That's that feel-good stage. That's that energy that some of us really need. But a strong relationship is built off strong character. What is your character? Are you a good person or not? If you want to know somebody's character, go through a hard time. Go through a real struggle. Lose a job or two. Lose some friends. Lose some family members. People change when people pass or die. I'm telling you the truth. This is what happens. People change and characters begin to change. If you want to know a real person and what you really got, you judge that person based off their character. Can I trust this person to have my back? Is this a good person? Is this person a loyal person? In the midst of heat, in the midst of frustration, in the midst of lies, in the midst of this, in the midst of that, what do I have? Right? At the end, it's going to reveal the truth of what you got. So that imagination of what you thought you had, it wasn't there. And that is what be tearing people up. So yeah, stop judging your relationship, your old relationship based off the first chapter. Because that person showed you their character when the end came. They showed you how they would turn on you. They showed you how they would run your name through the mud. They showed you how they would talk about you bad to build themselves up. They lied on you. They made up things that wasn't true because they was hurt. So stop romanticizing the beginning. Yeah. The third thing I would say is you got to accept reality without rewriting it. I'm about to close. I'm almost done. You got to accept reality without rewriting it. You don't need to demonize them. You just need to see them clearly. And that's the problem. A lot of us don't want to accept reality without trying to rewrite it. Your brain just keep trying to rewrite the reality. You just need to see them clearly. And I'm going to tell you how powerful clarity is. And that's why they say the truth will set you free. Clarity brings peace faster than closure. Clarity. There's a lot of people who don't care about closure. All they needed was the truth, and that was enough. I'm going to tell you this, and I want you to receive this. Acceptance hurts once. Acceptance hurts once. Illusion hurts repeatedly. You don't want to accept the reality. You want to create these illusions. And you keep hurting yourself over and over and over. No, just accept that person for who they is, what they are, accept that character, and accept that you believed in a lie for many years. Because acceptance, when you truly accept it in your heart and in your mind, it only hurts once. It's the illusion that hurts repeatedly. And again, you don't miss them. You miss the version you built in your mind. In healing, it begins the moment you stop loving the idea and start accepting the truth. This is therapy session. So I hope I said something tonight that have really touched your mind and really got you to a new place. But I just wanted to come on here tonight and let you know you don't miss them. You don't. You're grieving. You're hurting from something else. That's why when you go to people, you can't explain what you feel. You can't explain it. You're really hurting in your mind from what you thought they were. You built a version of them that's totally different. Even when you face to face, you're in their face, they're not a good person. But your brain just be like, this is a good person. I love this person. I don't want to accept the fact that their character is majorly flawed. They don't have security. Everything that I thought that they had, they don't have it. They don't have this person I'm looking at is not the future. They don't have healing. They're not a person that is for the future. You don't miss them. You miss the version of who you thought they were. And that's why you're grieving. That's why you're hurting. You can't explain that though. It's like, I don't understand what I'm feeling. I don't really want them, but you want them, but not them. You want the version of them that you created. Everybody has this perfect imagination of what they want somebody to be. Everybody, literally, if you're in a relationship, you have a perfect idea of what you're hoping this person is. Every woman, you're hoping that this man, you can depend on him. You're hoping that this man is loyal. You're hoping that this man is a leader one day. You're hoping that this man is powerful. You're hoping that this man is a notable man, strong man with drive. And that's why I say that I think that when you get into a real healthy relationship, reality should be reality. And that's what separates the king from the queens. That's what separates that type of living and lifestyle from the lower vibrational people. Because you can look at somebody and you see who they are. Like, no, your patterns show me who you is. You can't keep a job. You can't do this. You can't do that. Nah, big dog, your patterns just, it tells. So I want to challenge every woman who's listening to this. In your next relationship, your standards should be, I need to know your history. I need to know your patterns. I need to know who you really are. I want to know your character. I want to really get to know you. I don't want this feel good stuff all the time, because this probably ain't even it. Like, you do make me feel good, blah, 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 but I want to know you. I tell men the same thing. You get with Shawty, bro, make sure you know who she is for real. Because her character could make or break you as a man. His character, sis, can make or break you as a woman. There's a lot of women out here right now, you can do bad by yourself. Why are you with him? Because you have this hope one day that he's gonna wake up. This man, you've been with this man 5-10 years and he's still doing the same thing. Guess what? Y'all gonna get old and broke together forever, because he's never gonna change. In most cases, because his patterns are the same, unless he go and make a life change, unless God can awaken him, unless God can really get in his mind and begin to do some things. Bro, you think that this woman, so look, so men, true story, it was a couple men having conversations about why relationships didn't work for them. So I butted in. And everybody was like, yo, you know, this little shorty I got, bro, like, you know, the one that I really want, like, you know, like her patterns, like, bro, she just love partying all the time. She just love hanging out, drinking with her friends and turning up. But I ain't on that. I really looking for something different. So years going by, you still in this relationship with this girl and you still thinking she's gonna change, but her character, her patterns are all the same. She's not changing. She challenges you every time she wants to go do what she wants to do. She ain't her. So, bro, you ain't gotta waste no more time. And that's why you should be more logical. Get out of your emotions. You falling in love. No, I don't care about love first. When I meet somebody, I don't care about no love. No. I mean, of course, you're going to naturally care about some type of love. I don't care about love. Just think about it. In a business relationship, a friendship, I'm not thinking about love. I'm thinking about your patterns in your life. What are you loyal to? Who are you? You can be coming to sabotage my life. You can be coming to mess some things up for me. Who are you? Like you know. So yeah, man, I really, you know, so you got to get out of this, you know, this mindset. I know you're healing. A lot of you are healing that's listening to me. A lot of you want to reset. You want to, you know, you want to get to the next level in the way you think. And I want to come on here and I want to help you every chance I get.